I'm Sangeeta Mahendran. I'm one of the three founders of MyBotree. We'll do a quick round of introduction to today's topic and speaker, and then I'll hand it over to Jhelum. So, for all of you who are joining the MyBotree Circle online for the first time, a quick idea of what we do. The circle itself has been running for 2 years now, ever since we started MyBotree, the venue. Now, of course, we are online. We focus on learning, we focus on new experiences, and on building communities. So today is one such session. Typically, what we do is a 30-minute session followed by Q&A. Today, you can all put your questions as we are going along in the chat window, but I'm sure Jhelum will give you a time or a sort of, let you know when is the best time otherwise. Our guest today is Jhelum Biswas Bose. Like most little girls, Jhelum was fascinated with flowers and fairies. This enchantment never quite left her, despite a very different career path. From doing book reviews and a stint in teaching to being the beauty editor of a popular magazine, and then later part of the marketing team for a French beauty brand, Jhelum has donned different roles to get where she is today. Jhelum was introduced to bath flower remedies by a family friend who would give her occasional doses. She subsequently did a formal course on bath flower remedies in London. She's the author of Foolproof, P-H-O-O-L, Foolproof, which details uses of flowers in our daily lives. She also has a beauty care product line called Jhelum Loves. Jhelum's a friend of MyBotree. She had done her book reading for Foolproof at our venue in 2019, and I'm sure some of you were there for that session, and I'm sure if you did, you'd have enjoyed it. I'm sure you'll find her story and expertise on flowers and bath flower therapy fascinating. So handing it over to you, Jhelum, take us into your magical world of flowers and wellness.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta. It's kind of homecoming because MyBotree was one of the first people in Bangalore to embrace me and my book. And now with this new format that we have, to be back again with you means a lot. So as you said that, I have done a course and I'm a bath flower therapist. But apart from that, I do what is I call pool therapy or flower therapy. So that involves aromatherapy, chakra healing, as well as bath flower remedies. So bath flower remedies, as you explained that I stumbled upon it almost, and it was perhaps, there is no coincidence in life. There is what I call is synchronicity. So I met this person, a family friend who was practicing, and then she gave me these remedies, which worked well for me. And then in London, I had gone for a course on makeup. But I got to know that this bath flower therapy course is also happening through the weekend. And I went and joined it. And I found the most amazing teacher, Anna, she's no more, Anna Geoffroy. And she introduced me to bath flower therapy in a very mystical manner, where and it was also in some ways she tried to connect bath flower remedies with our chakras. So that was very fascinating for me. So for those who don't know what bath flower therapy is, how many people know? Maybe you can show a thumbs up or something to say that if you've heard of bath flower therapy. Okay, great. So for the benefit of others, bath flower therapy was discovered in the 1930s in UK by Dr. Edward Bach. And Dr. Bach believed that all ailments have an emotional root. So when you heal the emotion, the ailment also gets taken care of. And why he introduced flowers was because of the delicate energy of flowers. So he was a physician, plus he was a homeopath and a pathologist. So he developed these tinctures based on the homeopathy module. So what he did was he plucked fresh flowers and he soaked them in water and kept it under the sun for 4 hours. That was the sun method of making some flower remedies. Or the alternative method was for flowers which were heavier and more woody in its texture. He put them in water and boiled it and put it on flame, so that it got the flower in the water absorbed the flower's energies. In both the cases, the flowers were then strained off, and the water that was there, that was stabilized with brandy, and that was called the mother tincture. From the mother tincture, again, what we call stock bottles, or where we find the Bach flower remedies in stores, it is diluted further with brandy or some vodka, depending on the brand, and then they create the stock bottles which we can buy from homeopathy stores in India. So though Dr. Bach, and so this understanding was that the flower leaves an imprint in the water. The flower's characteristics are left in the water. Therefore, when you are working with, when you're consuming it, and since our body is also majority made with water, the imprint of the flower moves into our body. So it's kind of the energy of the flower gets assimilated in our body, and the way the flower heals itself, our body also starts healing itself. Having said that, a Bach flower remedy or flower essences is not something which happened in the 1930s, as recent as 1930s. It's been a part of traditions worldwide for many centuries ago. And in India, and if you look at even world over, the first documentation of flower essences is there in a book called Ark Prakash, which was written by none other than Lankapati Ravan, or Ravan as we know him. And the entire book is a commentary between his wife Mandodari and Ravan. So there are various ways in which arks were prepared. So some were prepared with twigs, some were prepared with leaves, and some were also prepared with flowers. Unfortunately, the flower arkas don't exist anymore, or people are not making it anymore. But if one were to read that book and read the portions where the flower extracts are made, it's one of the most poetic and most sensuous writings that you can come across. So it was practiced back then. If we look at also our various rituals that we have, so when we have, say, a puja in a Hindu household, there is a flower which is soaked in water, and that water is sprinkled around the house for peace. It's called the Shanti Jal. That's one way. If you were to go to a church or to a dargah, you're welcomed with rose water. Again, it is water energized with the flower's energy. Plus, if you also were to go to weddings in older times, you would be greeted with sprinkling of rose and khas water. So these are things which have been there in various traditions. There is also another tradition called Australian bush flower remedies. So Bach flower remedy, why it has been captured our popular imagination is because it is very compact. It's just 38 remedies, which when taken in a combination of 5 to 7 remedies max, it can heal any emotion under the sun. So it's more comprehensive, it's easier to understand, and it is more accessible than, say, a bush flower therapy, or if we were to make our arkas, it would take time. Incidentally, in India also, there was a doctor, Dr. Malti Khaitan. She was much influenced by Bach flower remedies, and she herself has created an entire repertoire of flower essences. Unfortunately, she passed away a few years back, and hence nobody has been able to take it forward as yet, but they are in the process. So we really hope that, once that kind of opens up, we will have Indian flower remedies also there, because India has so many flowers. So why shouldn't we have our own flower remedies and go back to our local flowers? If anyone wants to ask any question, you can do that now. Otherwise, then it can be a little interactive to hear what you have to ask. Jaya, I thought you wanted to ask a few questions. Would you?
I received a few questions from people, who've not been able to join. So I'm just going to type out, one of the questions which is related to what you've spoken now.
Yeah. So Bach flower remedy is meant for anyone. Anyone is a candidate of Bach flower remedy, but what it requires is your faith in the system. So that is with anything else as well. So if I don't have and if I don't believe in a form of medication, then no matter how good that medicine is, it's not going to work. So it depends on our life state and our belief in the system. So if you believe in Bach flower remedy or alternative remedies, it's going to work for you. But if you are skeptical about it, if you have your mind playing games with you and blocking your natural process, then it will not have any effect. But who is Bhakra remedy for? I am a candidate for it. Sangeeta, you could be a candidate for it. Then Hima Bindu, you could also be a candidate for it, because we are all human beings and we all have emotions. And these emotions, they do undergo upheavals. So if you have emotions, Bhakra remedy is for you to help you tackle with the emotion. So, it is also very significant that we talk about Bhakra remedy in the time that we are in, because there is so much of talk going on about, depression and emotional upheavals, and people are not able to come to terms with it and have a discussion with it. So it's important to understand that our emotional health is as important or as simple as our physical health. So if we have fever, if we have some health issue, we will be going ahead and we will be taking a physician's consultation. Similarly, if we have an emotional upheaval, if we are feeling sad, if we are feeling angry, if we are feeling fearful, uncertain, gloomy, so these are also things which we all experience, and it is fine to reach out to a therapist for that. So Bhakra remedy comes in place then, that if you are a person of emotions, you will have emotional upheavals from time to time. So if you take these Bhakra remedies in time, you will be able to not just control your emotions at the bud, but you will also be able to lead a more healthier, happier life. Okay, so
Jhilam,
then
sorry, on the same note, since the question was on whom it's meant for, I also read up that pets benefit from baklava.
yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. So your pets, your plants, anything that is there with nature, is going to be beneficial for Bhakra remedy. They can benefit from Bhakra remedy. So, for instance, I had a dog who was very clumsy, and he was a German Shepherd, and he didn't understand how to maneuver himself around the room. So when we gave him the Bhakra remedy of Scleranthus, which is to bring balance and grace into your movements, he kind of understood his space, and he was able to manipulate that in his own way.
Nice.
So that's what the remedies can do. Then there is another pup of my cook. So she had to undergo a lot of treatments last December, and she was just barely 5-6 months old, and had to be put on drip, and so that caused a lot of mental trauma for the pup. I gave her the Bhakra remedy of Star of Bethlehem, and she has gradually again come back to her playful self. So
Okay.
she is not as nervous and as fearful as she used to be.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Neelam,
Then Jaya has,
yeah, there are some more questions. One from me and one from Charulata.
okay. So Jaya, you have asked that the remedies contain alcohol. Is it okay to consume? So yes, the remedies, as I explained, are they are stabilized in alcohol, and that is okay to consume, because even if you were to have cough syrup, alcohol would be there. Plus, if you're putting it into a glass of water, just a drop or two, so like 4 drops, so that's really not going to make it make it that potent. However, if someone has an issue of alcoholism, or if someone does not take alcohol because of religious purposes, or there is a medical condition apart from alcoholism that requires you to stay abstain from alcohol, then what you can do is apply it on your skin, on your pulse points. That can be done. Otherwise, what you can also do is put it in warm liquid, warm water or warm tea, because then what will happen is that the alcohol will evaporate. So you will have the remedy strength with you, but only the alcohol would have evaporated, and it's safe to consume. We haven't heard anyone who has had an adverse effect to Bhakra remedy. Then Tamarai has asked that, is it a subset of homeopathy? No, it is not a subset of homeopathy. It is a system by itself. And though, of course, a lot of homeopaths practice Bhakra remedy, because it works again on the principle of homeopathy, where you're treating the person and not the ailment. So you need to know the person's emotional space, only then can you give the a proper homeopathy medicine. So that is why it's often misunderstood to be homeopathy. And the other point is that it's also like available in homeopathy stores. Therefore there is this concept that, and the labels that you will find also, it will say homeopathy medicine on a Bakla remedy bottle. Many a times it would be written homeopathy medicine. So which is why that confusion is there, but it is completely different from homeopathy. It's a separate subset, or it's a different aspect of alternative healing. How long does it take to see the benefits? It depends from what is your condition. So suppose you're feeling physically exhausted, then taking a remedy like olive bakra remedy will have almost an instantaneous effect on you. Again, if you are feeling sad and for no particular reason, taking mustard will help you come out of that state of sadness within maybe a day or a few hours. However, something as deep as, you repeatedly make the same mistake, or you are, you're fearful for, you're just a fearful person. So that is going to take time in overcoming. So that's, but you will see a difference within 7 to 10 days. You will find a difference in your system. Yeah. And then Charulata is asking, does it lead to dependency and addiction? No, we haven't come across any case where it leads to dependency and addiction. I'm talking about myself. I take the remedies sometimes regularly for a month, and then maybe I don't take the remedies at all. And so that's fine. We can keep coming back to the remedies as and when we require. And once we start experiencing the remedies, we will know, we will be able to preempt when we need that particular remedy. So that's what I would tell you, Charulata. That is, it's not a question of dependency, but you can see it as from the angle of keeping, upkeep of your emotional health. And Bakra therapy in that regard is a very, very subtle and very mild form of remedy to deal with emotional issues. Deepti, Chandrika has asked, truly amazing to know. Okay, yeah, pets can be benefited. Deepti is asking, how does it help our chakras? So, if our chakras are also again related to emotions, and also, of course, the physical and the metaphysical body. So, for instance, the root chakra is related to balance and grounding. So, if you're a person who is not, you are going through a hormonal imbalance, or if you're going through, some sort of emotional imbalance as well, where you can't decide between things, your mind is like a grasshopper mind, then taking the Bakla remedy of Scleranthus can help you lead a more balanced life. So it can even have balance your hormones. So that's one aspect. Again, if we are talking about the root chakra, Clematis Bakla remedy helps you in grounding. So people who are daydreamers, who are not aware of their surroundings, they benefit a lot when they take Clematis Bakla remedy. It helps them engage with their immediate. Otherwise, their mind is always in the future. So it brings them back to the present so that they can engage with the present and therefore create a better future. Can this be coupled with other therapies? Yes, you can couple it with other therapies, unless your therapist from the other system or modality restricts you to do it. But for Bakla therapy, it's absolutely fine to go combine it with other therapies. My own products are made with Bakla therapies. It's based on aromatherapy and chakra therapy. So it combines all of it. And when I'm doing a consultation, I would say I'm doing a Bakla consultation, but I cannot segregate that this is where Bakla remedy ends and this is where aromatherapy begins, or this is where chakra therapy begins. It becomes something that it's also a way in which I deal with the therapy or I deal with the situation. So to again put it very simply, it can be used for, it can be taken in along with other therapies. Okay, so Jaya, you have taken, can it be taken in medical? So I think I've answered that question. Supriya, is this consumed or inhaled? Ideally, it should be consumed. However, if you're skeptical about it, or as I spoke, that if you cannot take alcohol because of either physical or religious reasons, then then you can apply it on your pulse points. So on your wrists, behind your ears, behind your knees. So these are your pulse points. That's where you can apply it. Is Bhakra therapy recommended for children? Yes, it is. And it is in many countries, it is given to the mother and the expecting mother and the baby, so that as a Star of Bethlehem is given so that the birthing process can become a lot more comfortable and easy. So that's as early as Bhakra therapy can be given to children. Again, if you are skeptical about giving it to the child for if to consume, then again you can put it in the child's bath, or you can mix it with the body oil of the child and massage the body with that, or you could just take the remedy and massage it on the baby's sole of his or her feet. So that can also be done. Okay. Anjana, you're asking during hormonal changes, is there a set of floral combinations for PMS and other menstrual cycle conditions? One can make, I make also, pre-made set of combinations. I do have some of them. But I believe that, when it's specific condition, it's best to have a consultation and create something which is specific for you. So now suppose you're saying that, uh, different people have different ways in which they deal with their PMS. Someone may be dealing with it, they know that what's going to happen, so then they start proactively doing things like yoga or meditation, which helps them through the situation. Some people are just too, overwhelmed to do anything else. Some people just suffer and they don't want to talk about it. So then it says that how long does it take to affect? Supriya answered that it depends on what is your condition, and generally you would see a difference within 7 to 10 days. But as I said, for something like olive, you might feel an immediate result, instantaneous result. Sunita, if someone is suffering from autoimmune disease, is there any Bach flower that is recommended? Thank you. So again, Bhakra therapy treats the person and not the ailment. So if you have an autoimmune disease, what we will need to see is that how are you reacting to it, or what has been your what are you as an emotional type person, what is your tendencies. So accordingly, something where it is autoimmune disease, it's best to consult the person and then give the remedy rather than pick up something and say that okay, this is for autoimmunity. But for instance, however, given our circumstances that we are now in, if you want to take a remedy which is going to protect you from the unwanted physical and environmental issues, as well as it will help you adjust with the change, then walnut is a wonderful remedy to take around these times. And there I've made a mix called Immuno, which has about 5 Bhakra remedies, which cleanses your system, which takes away your fears, which protects you from unwanted influences, and at the same time, therefore, it improves your immunity. So when you're happy, when you are emotionally strong, your immunity also becomes strong. Yeah. Then we come to, can medicines be picked up from any homeo store, or are they custom made for every requirement? So there are 38 flower remedies. You can pick up these remedies from the store, you can buy it. But before that, you will need to know which ones you require. And for that, you may need to do a consultation. A lot of therapists would make that mix for you and then give it to you. However, what I am doing right now with the pandemic is that it may not be possible for me to send the remedies to people across the country. So what I suggest is that I'll give you the remedy mix. You go and take it from your local homeopath and you start taking the remedies. Another thing which I prefer to do is that take a Bhakra remedy consultation, see how it works on you, and then learn what the basics of Bhakra therapy. Because this practice was, developed so that people had health which was accessible. And hence our effort is to spread the knowledge as far as possible, so that you don't have to keep coming back to me all the time. Yes, sometimes we do require to go back to our, fellow practitioners and get the condition corrected by ourselves, for ourselves. But, you can always do that. Okay. Can alcohol be substituted with oils? So Anjana, the mixes which come which you buy from the homeopathy stores or from in the Bhakra remedies, they are pre-mixed in alcohol. So you cannot do anything about it. But what you can do is you can put it in your oil and you can use that to massage your body. So that ways you can use without ingesting alcohol. Okay, Anuradha, you have written, my mother has numbness in left hand. Neuro says it is carpal tunnel. Can Bhakra therapy help? Yes, Bhakra therapy can help to a large extent, because when you have a numbness or when you have pain in your hand, it could be about something that is going deeper into your emotional root. Yeah, and somewhere this feeling of not being able to take control of things. So that could be a reason why that pain happens. And by consulting with her, one will not be able to cure carpal tunnel. I'm not saying that I will be able to change her physical condition, but what one can do is help her deal with the emotion which has caused this ailment. So once she recovers from that, she can also, do this. In the meanwhile, one thing you can experiment is take Bhakra remedy of crabapple Bhakra remedy and apply it on her wrist, on her left hand. Try it for 7 days and see if there is some improvement in that. Because a lot of times it has happened that, like for my own case, I had a keloid, and every medical condition, every doctor had said that neither can I do. I mean, a surgery would again perhaps bring back the keloid, and then there is no other clear-cut medication to control keloid. So I started applying Bhakra therapy, that crabapple Bhakra therapy on my keloid, and I must have done it for 10-15 days, and then I forgot about it and I didn't do it. But after, like say about a month or so, I noticed that the keloid had almost disappeared. So now, unless I point it out to somebody, you will not be able to see the keloid, which was earlier big, red, and painful. So that's how physically also it can help. Charulata, recommend any good book to refer for self-administration? Yes, Charulata, you can go and get my book, Bach Flower, it's called Foolproof. It has an entire segment on flower therapy. Plus, it has a chart of all the 38 remedies and what are the indications for taking that remedy. So you can familiarize yourself with that, or else you can do a course with me on basics of Bach flower therapy, and you can understand, and then you can start practicing with it. Okay, Meera has written, the 38 flower remedies you speak of, are these found or related to Indian traditional medicine? Dr. Malti, she had developed a few of these remedies which are there in the Bach flower system, in her system of remedies as well. So, for instance, there are flowers like walnut is a tree which grows in India as well. So, the Bach flower remedy of walnut and the Bach flower remedy and the flower remedy that you create with walnut flower can have a synergy. But Bach flower therapy, as I said, those 38 flower remedies, they are a system of healing by themselves. Okay, so Gayatri has asked that can it be useful for diabetics and to BP control? Again, you can use it not to deal with the disease, but to deal with the personality. And I will never say that, stop your diabetics, your blood sugar medicines or your BP control medicines. Please don't put a stop to it. As an addition, you can take Bach flower remedies to help you ease your condition. Yeah. Then somebody said, can they help with dermal conditions? Yeah, so it can help in skin conditions. Again, coming back to crabapple, which is a versatile cleanser. So if you were to mix crabapple with your regular cream and apply that, it's going to help you perhaps, take off pigmentation. If you're having acne, you can mix Bach flower remedy of rescue remedy, crabapple, and put it with your ointment and put it at the point where you have the acne. Or you can use even lavender essential oil. You can put a few drops of, you can take 2-3 drops of lavender essential oil, mix with it few drops of rescue remedy and a few drops of Bach flower crabapple, and put that on the acne spots. It will take care of it immediately. Apart from that, it can also help, Bach flower remedies can also help your scalp health, your hair condition. Again, going back to what we keep going back to is you as a person. What is your emotional need? When we heal that, then things get healed. So 3 things to remember is Bhakla remedy works on psychological, physiological, and physical level. The first place where ailment strikes is is in the psychological level, and the reflection starts happening first on your skin and hair. So by looking at your skin and hair, you can or many a times understand what is going on internally. A lot of times doctors, before the physiological symptoms come up, looking at your physical appearance can recommend the treatment that you require. Yeah. Can you please share your complete course details? So what I do is a 4-day course, and it is the basics of Bhakla therapy, where you learn what are the 38 Bhakla remedies, how to use them, how to choose them, when to take them, and you also, so therefore you learn how to make your own mixes, and you can start taking it for yourself, and you can even start recommending it to your family. So that ways you can start with. So that's what the course aims to do. And you can get in touch with me separately for the course details, timings, and the course fees. We'll be very happy to guide you through that. Jilum, please let everyone know how you could be contacted for a consultation. Yeah. So you can call me directly on my mobile number, which is 981126 1250. You can contact me directly on WhatsApp, or if you can even find me on Instagram. My handle is @JLMBB. You can even message me there. But best way to contact is call me up, send a text message. If I can't reply to you immediately, I will call you back. Anything else anybody wishes to ask?
Jela, maybe you can also talk about your book, because I don't think a lot of people who are on the call today were there when you talked about your book at MyBotree. I think it's very, very interesting for people to listen to, the how you came about writing the book, and maybe a few snippets here.
Yeah. So there are already 3 questions where it has come up. So Hima, the flower the flower remedies are available in India, but all the flowers which you are there in the 38 flower remedies in the group may not be growing, or it may not be physically available in our country. They are natives of other countries, especially of Europe. Shibani, yes, it is safe to self-administrate, but it is important to understand the remedy and take it. So it's safe if you want to take it. If you want to just read the book and start taking the remedies, you can try that. We have never, there is no documentation which goes to show that it has been harmful to anyone. So if you can start taking, as I said, you can put, if you are skeptical, put it on your pulse points. See how that works. If that works for you, then start consuming. Because when you consume, when you ingest, it works quicker. Hima Bindu 38. Yeah, so the remedies are available. They are sold in bottles of 20 ml or 30 ml or even 100 ml at times. These are available in most of the homeopathy stores. If you don't get it in your local homeopathy store, you can also order it from 1mg app, or you can order it on Amazon as well. But otherwise, you can go directly to Bhandari's website. And Bhandari, they have all the Bhakla remedies, and they are one of the best manufacturers of Bhakla remedies in India. You can go and you can take it from there. What has been your experience? The toughest challenge you have remedied with Bhakla therapy? So the most challenging thing is to give it to your family. Because family never considers that to be something that it is to be taken seriously. And when you're talking about flower essences, and it's so subtle and so ephemeral, people don't get it at times, and they think that you've gone a little cuckoo. And since I do a lot of these, sometimes I listen to Sufi music, and sometimes I do the whirling and all these things, so people tend to have. So that was one major problem, trying to get through to my family to believe in it and take it. But what happens is, like with everything else, when people start seeing a change in you, they start believing in what you're talking about. So first you have to have that confidence in yourself to start medicating or start helping others. You have to show the actual proof first. Supriya, it should be available in Hyderabad. You need to check out your local homeopath whether they have it. Um, there is also a feeling that they have a placebo effect. It can be with any other remedies, as I said. But as I was started off, I said that it's not going to work for you if you don't believe in it. If you have trust in it, if you surrender to it, then it can change your life. So I have gone through, which I've also documented in my book, that I went to a severe stage of, it was almost asthmatic situation that I had. And taking Bakla remedies along with essential oils helped me reverse the situation completely. So there are a lot of ways in which you can take them. Another remedy which I had taken for a very long time was cherry plum. So cherry plum is a remedy given when you fear losing your mind. So I went through a phase of anxiety and depression where I also harbored suicidal thoughts. But taking this remedy, it takes a lot to go back and even take that remedy. You know it, but you still won't take it. But if you have friends around who are supportive, and if you have to have your strong will that I want to get this out of my system. So that's what I did. I took cherry plum consistently for 6 to 7 months, and a lot of that anxiety, that depression that I was going through slowly went away. There are times that I still need to take the remedies when my anxiety strikes. So, for instance, right now when I'm speaking, my father is quite unwell. He is experiencing a lot of stomach ache, and we are waiting for the reports to come. We are waiting for him to feel a little better. But at the same time, I made this commitment. So I had to prepare myself to come here and talk to you today. So the one which I reached out, the remedy which I reached out before coming for the session was rescue remedy, because it is a crisis situation in my life and I need to take immediate remedy for the same. So that's there. And Tamarai, you said there are quite a few online stores which have bark remedy. Yes, you can buy them from the stores. As I said, first look for Bhandari. If you get Bhandari, great. Otherwise, there is New Life and some other brands also. They are equally good. But when you're taking Indian remedies, go for Bhandari. That would be my first suggestion. Otherwise, let me know the name that you are getting. If I have heard of it, I'll let you know. What did you use for asthma? So Sunita, again, it is something which was related to me. So I had a lot of deep-seated fears which I didn't know how to handle. Plus, I was not being able to express myself the way I want to in the job situation that I was in. And that inability to express myself was causing the breathing troubles. So what happens is that when you can't express yourself, your throat chakra gets affected. So you may be saying a lot of things, but it may not be coming out in the right manner. Such a person will also experience throat related problems, tonsils, your sore throat, your, other breathing disabilities as well. So I took Century, which is a remedy to take when you are unable to express yourself correctly. Plus, I have taken the Bakla remedy of crabapple because I wanted to take this negativity out of my system. So these were the two, and also I took Aspen, which for my fears, unknown fears that I had. So I took it because those were the symptoms, those were the emotions that I was going through. But somebody else who's going through asthma could have completely different issues. So we need to look again at the person who we are treating to understand what remedies go for this. So please, the main thing to understand is Bakla therapy, and also the way Dr. Bach wanted it to be, is a set of remedies for you as an individual. So when you go to a doctor or a therapist, you're going as a human, as a complete person. You're not going with my fever in a separate bag or with my headache in another pouch. You go together. So therefore, your entire being needs to be analyzed before you are recommended remedies. So that's why you can, there is like homeopathy, are there foods, coffee, etc. to be avoided? I have never avoided anything. And even when I take homeopathy, I don't follow these foods and coffee restrictions. And it has worked well for me. And Bakla therapy, you can even have it with a glass of wine if you want to. It's absolutely fine. There is no contraindication to that, you can take it with anything that you want. Last question from me: for emotional confusion, what would you recommend? When you have so okay, now come when you speak of confusion, there are two remedies that you can consider. One is, do you have a grasshopper mind? Are you like flitting from one thing to another? If that is the case, if you're physically someone who's prone to bang yourself against a door or trip and fall, and you are like butterfingers, then scleranthus could be a remedy for you. But if you are at a juncture, like at a crossroad, and you don't know whether to pick between this and that, so always whenever you are in a situation where you don't know what to do, see if you have two options, this or that. When you have that, wild oat is the remedy to take to understand what you need to take ahead. Okay, Gayatri. For vision problems, can we use this bark flower therapy? Which bark flower therapy? You can use, again, let's go back again to the fact that we cannot treat your ailment separately. We need to analyze and understand you first. And when I say we, it means me and you. We do it together. Okay. Shibani, I'm based in Delhi, Calcutta, and Bangalore. At the moment, I'm in Delhi. But you can always reach me online, as I've shared my number with you all before. So you can always contact me there, and we can, now in this age, it's all distance, it's all through social media. When we have to maintain social distancing, social media is our way ahead. Yeah. So, what is the minimum age at which you can start using? There are countries where, and even in UK, remedies are given to the mother, expecting mother. So that's as early as you can start bark flower therapy. But again, if you're skeptical about giving it to your child, please apply it on your baby's pulse points and on the soles of his feet. So that's my number. You can call me on that, or you can reach out to me. You can text me. It's best to send me a WhatsApp message with your name, and I will respond to you. Okay, so now Jaya asked me to talk about my book, which I love talking about. This is my book, which has a rather beautiful cover that I'm very proud of. And as the book says, it's about Indian flowers, their myths, traditions, and usage. So the book is divided into 5 segments, and you can dip into any segment and read from there. But you could also go by, like from beginning to end. So the first part is called Lores and Legends, where I have spoken about different legends that are related to bark flower remedy. So before we end this session, I would love to read out a poem, which is a very favorite poem of mine from the book, the poems that I've composed. The second is Essence and Emotion. So the second chapter is what we are talking about today, bark flower therapies. So the second chapter talks about flower essences and the emotions that are healed with these emotions, with these essences. Third one is again a very, very dear chapter to me, and it's called Sense and Sensuality. It talks about floral and essential oils and how they help in our, how they help us in healing ourselves, as well as we can make aromatic blends with it and use it as fragrances as well. Fourth is adornments and anointments, where you're using the physical flower to wear it, or you are making, pastes and you're using that to apply it. So what I do is that I put out a lot of flowers in my house, and sometimes I even like wearing fresh flowers. Those flowers, after I've offered it to my temple and to place it around my house, I take it out the next day, I dry it, and I make like a powder out of it, which can be mixed with salt and made into bath salts, or it can be mixed with honey and lemon and whatever remedies you want to, ingredients you want to use, and make it into a flower pack and apply on your hair. So adornments and anointments talk about various ways in which the physical flower can be used topically on your body. And finally, foods and flavors. This is where a lot of my friends have helped me in contributing their secret recipes or their most prized recipes. It talks about how flowers can be used in cooking. So you would have seen a lot of it in MasterChef Australia. But unknowingly you may have been consuming a lot of these flowers also in your daily life. For instance, the pumpkin flower or the banana flower, for that matter our gobi. These are all flowers that we have been consuming, yet we don't know. So there is also my bo tree has this beautiful kachnar tree next to it. So kachnar tree also is the kachnar flowers can be used in making. There is a chutney that is mentioned in the book, which is you can make with kachnar buds. Actually, you can make it with kachnar buds, not the flowers. And also, the book is something which it's my personal experience. Also comes in along with the information that I'm giving out. I have referred heavily on my personal experiences because, again, I said actual proof is the best proof. I also like to call myself a flower witch because flower. I also say that because I wanted to dismantle the concept of who is a witch. So let us just have a conversation about who we think is a witch. We think it's a woman who does not toe the regular line or the regular course of action. She lives by her own terms and does things the way she wants. She feels intuitively attracted to. So, a witch is someone who stirs up unusual recipes. Then yes, I do that. So, witch and the cauldron, they go they hand in hand. So, and I think all women, we all have that little bit of a witch within us, which we haven't brought out. So, all those who like cooking, those who stir up different recipes in your kitchen, there's a high chance that you can be a witch. Then I create a lot of healing beauty products, a lot of stirring and making and things going on in my life, which is someone who speaks to forces of nature in riddles and rhymes. So what were spells? Spells were basically poems, and I am also a poet. So I draw inspiration of my poetry from nature or from my imagination of fairy tales and fairies. So that comes out in form of rhyme. So I do commune with nature in rhymes. Then the other is she someone who doesn't walk the beaten track? I have changed my career course in several ways, and at every juncture I was told that maybe you're not doing the right thing, but I went with my inner calling, and that's what a witch does. Okay, now the other thing which has been in our collective imagination is that if you're a witch, you should also be able to fly off in a broom. So I can't fly off on a broom, but I can fly off on my imagination and my fantasies. And is she someone who faces opposition for being different? Yes. If you're going to be doing these things differently, if you're going to follow the road not taken, then you can be seen as a witch. And I have done that several times. I have been questioned for my choices, but that's what I am. And why I call myself a flower witch? Because I work more with flowers. I am in commune with flowers more than any other aspect of nature. Slowly, I'm feeling a tendency towards the moon and towards water. So that's also something we can do. Niru, does Bhakra therapy help in treating OCDs? Yes, to a large extent it does. Because again, OCD is a very emotional or a psychological thing. So when you start healing your emotions, your OCDs can also be controlled to a large extent.
Jeremy wanted to read your poem to us before we end.
I was planning to read out the story of Parijat and the sun god. So I think we can look at that. Or else I just opened my book to this poem called Mogra Magic. And sometimes I feel when it opens at something, maybe that's the most appropriate thing to read. So this poem I had composed invoking the Mogra or the jasmine flower. It's called Mogra Magic. This balmy summer evening, I close my eyes and walk down the lane of the familiar and fond. On the way, I pick up the delicate white garland that I often wear on my hair. Oh, sweet jasmine, your fragrant nostalgia pulls at my heartstrings. It releases hearts of yore and mends bonds that had torn. So that is that's a little poem where it talks about invoking the jasmine and as well as a little spell. So the spell is the second paragraph, which is, "Oh, sweet jasmine, your fragrant nostalgia pulls at my heartstrings. It releases hurts of yore and mends bonds that had torn." So jasmine flower has a beautiful ability to, it kind of brings you out of depression. The fragrance itself uplifts you. Plus, it is aphrodisiac. So when you are wearing the jasmine flower, you are healing your emotions, and at the same time, you are also, bringing out a very creative side of yourself. And when you write a praise or a verse in praise of a flower, that flower starts interacting with you in a beautiful way as well. So, as an exercise today, you can all perhaps write 4 lines on the flower that you like. So, start with invoking that favorite flower, then speak about what aspect of the flower that you like, then ask the flower to help you, and then finally end this poem with "thank you." So these are the 4 sentences and the simplest way of writing a poem. Each one of us as a poet, each one of us is a witch, I would say. And today, let's go back to our favorite flower and invoke that and bring that energy into our lives. Is your book available to buy? Of course, it's there on Amazon.in. Please go and buy. So, any other questions, or we can close for today?
Jhilam, thank you so much. This was, as always, such a fascinating session and so well put together in terms of all the answers and the details that you gave us. Really appreciate, and more than anything else, I wanted to offer our best wishes for your father's speedy recovery. I think from all of us, good wishes for that to you, and thank you for making time and being here. If you hadn't told us, we wouldn't have known. So whatever you've been using on yourself really is very effective.
It's also my Buddhist practice, which makes me keep my word.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jhilam.
Thanks, Jhilam. Really appreciate. Great session.
Thank you for having me here. All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks everyone for joining.